Hey guys, we'll get our match underway soon. Yeah, so it looks like I got called. I got called last minute by bsocks to do the stream for the treasure format. The treasure, the treasure hunt number 3 finals, and it's a matchup between bsocks and gmyfs. I got gmyfs coming from the winners bracket, which I don't have pulled up right now, but just because I had stream set up in a certain way and had to do everything last minute, so anyway, I'm just gonna hopefully verbally I can discuss it. GMFS, he's on the tomato package, and he's against bsocks, who has crawled from the lower bracket into the finals with these burn deck. It is a deck that he has had success on before. I don't think this is the exact list, but here's an idea of it. I can assume it's just going to be very advantageous for him to win RPs and go first, so you can plant the things like Chain Burn and set up the Giant Germs in the field early. And given that the amount of control you can have in life points does matter a little bit. Granted, cards like the hand rips do cost 1,000 each, as well as the ability to swing on the opponent with obviously things like Change of Heart, Darkhold, Raigeki. The amount of power, I guess, still utilize the power spells and blow the opponent's life points out of proportion. Of course, you rocket cards like Just Desserts. Again, I don't think this is his exact list. This is just a past list example. He's probably obviously changed some things from this very first tournament, which happened over a year ago. Well over a year ago. In recent times, Treasure has been getting a consistent running of monthlies hosted by Hylia93. They have done a phenomenal job of supporting the format and providing the tournaments for it. And just an example, seeing the last tournament where GBO won, players have gone on to advance things like the card pool and such. And, well, not advance the card pool, but they've added utilized more tools like Banisher of the Light to banish cards to counteract things like Sangan, Witch, and Tomatoes. Just give me 2 seconds, I have to enter a Discord message. And even players like GBO have innovated with things like Giant Rat and using cards like Robin Goblin. And speaking of Hylian, he's on the call here. Let's go talk to him for a bit. Hey Hylian, welcome.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hear me? Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We're live. How you doing?
All right. I'm doing good, man. I've been having a pain in the. My signal, my Wi-Fi has not been good the past couple days. So if I randomly drop, I was sent to the Shadow Realm.
Hey, technology ain't perfect, right? Even if we were on Kaiba Corp stuff, huh? Well, I'm glad to...
no, I've been I gotta get on this. I gotta get on the customer service call with Kaiba Corp tomorrow morning. I mean, you think Domino City being as big as it is, you think we'd be able to afford it, but hey, you know what? Seto's not one of us.
I hear it's a tough block to break. Anyway, glad to have you on here. About to get started in this final match. What are your thoughts been so far on 3 back-to-back treasure format monthlies?
Yeah, I've been really proud of, I said in the first time, when I made the announcement of, hey, we got our monthly tournament happening, I said it's going to be the first one, hopefully not the last.
Oh yeah, no. Given the continual participation of players, it's shown that Just hosting the event, keeping some hype for it, is just does that. The players will come. They will come. The fish will come to bite. And that's been very exciting. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see more of these DMR formats get continued support, especially ones that may have been considered like degenerate or like sacky. So it's great to have the commitment in.
Hey, and that's just it. It's if you build it, they will come with an asterisk of maybe. You're never guaranteed turnout. You're never guaranteed, all right, I'm putting this thing together. People are going to be interested. You know, Sometimes people will be like, yeah, I'm available for that. I'll join. That sounds great. And then sometimes they'll be like, I'll join. And then they end up, last minute, either they forget or they're just not available.
Well, absolutely, it happens. It's the nature of these online events and people's schedules, or people still figuring out the system. So yeah.
It's like, one of my favorite Family Guy quotes that lives rent free in my head that just, it pops up in my head a lot more often than it should, but just that moment of, Lois ready for the anniversary in Peterson fishing gear. Ooh, that was this weekend.
Yeah, it especially with the amount of tournaments we are gonna get coming up into September, it's gonna be we're gonna have a bit of a gridlock because we've got Critter coming back, we got YK coming back, Yada might be coming back, we got the Fiber Monthly, we got the Imperial Monthly. So it's a little bit of a palooza right now, a little bit of a back
It
to school
is. So,
special.
when we did the first one and we saw the results, because I said going into the first one, I said hopefully this won't be the last one. And then I was saying we'll be lucky to get 16 people. We got 19 for the first treasure hunt, and I went ahead and confirmed, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do treasure hunt 2 and 3. We'll see what happens in the future, but I confirmed, 2 and 3 were happening. And then number 2, I confirmed number 3 is happening. And, heading into number 3 right now, I can confirm we are gonna do treasure hunt 4 and 5, but we're not gonna do one in September. There's a lot of formats doing tournaments, a lot of formats that have not seen a tournament. Some haven't seen a tournament all year. So
Over a year, yeah.
a big reason, yeah, a big reason for us doing this event was to, at the beginning, let's look at a format that's not played very much. Let's look at a format that is skipped over, but not completely disregarded. Let's try it out. And we just wanted to get people playing more types of Yu-Gi-Oh! You can't just complain and not offer a solution. And a lot of people will complain about modern, or they will complain about other formats. And well, what's the solution? The solution is try other formats. And with Treasure Hunt having 3 successful tournaments month to month to month, I think it's fair for us to take a month off and let the other tournaments shine, since that's the whole thing. That's the whole reason what we were doing. So, Treasure Hunt number 4, Treasure Hunters Forever. It's happening. Not next month though.
Fair enough. But you've done more than contribute your part to this to the DM era events and the online Discord scene. So yeah, go and take your fall vacation, and we can go and play some of the other DM era stuff. So, and that's big what you said about the talking about it as opposed to doing something about it. And I'm totally a firm believer of doing something about it.
Yeah, and just a very quick little thing. I said it in the main Yu-Gi-Oh server. A lot of people, whenever once every few months, I do go to locals. I do go to modern locals. Just to hang out there, just to kind of socialize and see where the game's at.
Right on.
And it was a lot smaller this last time I went, and I even said to a few players, because I was just there to socialize and play Goat with one buddy, and I said, if you guys are tired of the modern locals, what would you guys think about hypothetically? What if we started doing Goat here? And then a lot of people kind of turn their heads. They're like, ooh, hey, actually though.
Well,
So
yeah.
just present present an alternative. When people are tired of a game, hey, have you guys tried it in this mode? Have you guys tried it in this setting? Have you guys actually gone for this mode? And it works out a lot with video games, and it works out a lot with card games and digital card games.
Absolutely. I need all the formats for whatever game. All right, so we're getting into our final match here. I couldn't keep these guys waiting, unfortunately, but I was really glad to hear your words on the tournament, Hallian, and I praise your continual support for the formats and the other DMR formats that we choose to have.
Oh yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'll find a GX one that's super niche that'll also help
Yeah, we're still
boost
rolling
up.
to the GX, eh?
And I know if I don't host the GX tournaments, I know someone's gonna, because we're already seeing GX get monthly tournaments of their own. So
Yeah. Cyber code. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. They're happening. We're making it work one format at a time.
yeah, Cyber Goat was actually the one on my mind when I was like, wow, they're doing a Cyber Goat tournament? Cool.
Yeah. I did something about it. I jumped on that hype train. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm glad Chaos Cup coming back was fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, you had quite a run in there, eh? Getting into the congrats on your
Yeah,
first Swiss top cut, was it?
it was at least the first one in a while.
Oh, the first one. Well, right. Well, congrats. It's
Possibly the first one ever, but definitely the first one in a while. And it was with a deck that's not the not the top tier deck. So I think it may spark some momentum, and I think next time, after more practice, I think we might see more Warrior in the top cut, because I just wanted to show I think there is potential for Warrior in Chaos, and hopefully at least getting it to the semis.
all the pieces are there. The pieces are there to make it
Yeah,
work. It's just the continued effort.
yeah. And speaking of continue effort, our one of our finalists today was the runner-up last time.
gmyfs, yeah, he's been a menace in these tournaments. He won the Reaper format tournament back in the YFZ scene. I think he won the last Imperial tournament on Dump Truck server. So this could be his trophy to take home this time. Does he have the
Yep.
advantage in this first game of winning the RPs, which is going to be tough for Burn, but it looks like players are relatively even matched for now, except gmyfs be on the back foot for life points in this Burn matchup.
Yeah, if you're playing against Burn, I mean, obviously in any game, in any format, in any deck, you always want to be careful. You always want to think. But if you're playing against Burn, no matter what format it is, Burn is never something to go for the big push. The big push is going to end up, well, it's more of a gamble than it is anywhere else, because you got to look out for the just desserts. You got to look out for the squirrels. You got to look out for the germs.
I would argue that going against Burn, get a strong. You want to push in early and get aggressive. As the longer the game state goes, their Burn cards are gonna stack up and just become a little bit more powerful. So naturally, if you're gmyfs, you want to get this aggressive push going, even if you're taking a lot of Burn damage, just so bsocks here can't get his setup and has to take less favorable just desserts and maybe like uses negates a lot sooner, because I think this deck is running several cards like the Magic Jammer here. So yeah, but it is tricky. It is tricky
Oh yeah.
because sometimes you don't have the tools
I
to
was
go
thinking
aggressive.
more like, absolutely. I was thinking more like mid game, late game. The big pushes can screw you, but early game, if you can get the big pushes in as much as possible, that's like Burn deck is well, pun intended. You got to put that fire out as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You gotta squash it early, otherwise the flame's just gonna grow and grow and grow.
And then you're going to be like, all right, time for that last push. And then your opponent will say, just desserts.
Yeah, It just it
Or not
comes
in
out
this
and laughs
format,
in
but ring.
your face and says no.
And it's not well, no ring in this format, but
Oh yeah, no, no, yeah, that'd be I wonder how that would work in this format, but
uh, I think ring only really works in formats where there are enough strong monsters consistently coming out.
it does have its utility of in this format. Like for example, you could a nice way to clear out tomato without having to play the tomato war, or you can possibly hit the mechanical chaser to get out of the way. So it depends because yeah, if you're getting someone like bsocks running burn deck, then you have to obviously think more about it because you could get clipped for a lot more damage than you want to in that game of life points.
Yeah. Yeah, the game of life points is definitely always the most stressful part of it. Just, can I do this push? Can I not do this push?
Yeah, it looks like we got bsocks here mounting his own assault, but the Mamungas are coming out to play, and gmyfs is going to get clipped
The
for
Momo
1,000, even though that he's recurred that Raigeki. And the jammer comes out, and oh, he's gonna be even more on the back foot. If he can't stop this next push by bsocks, he could be looking at a game two. Oh, the Journade's gonna come out, and the MST's gonna snipe. I think it's gonna be and that's gonna be over for gmyfs. Bsocks is hungry for that treasure title. He's coming in,
you know, he
guns blazing. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. Screw it. The puns are intended.
always intend your puns. Why not?
Absolutely.
Also, bsocks was the one who knocked me out of this, knocked me out of my own tournament. So,
Oh my
you
gosh.
know, on the one hand, it's the returning runner-up against the man who knocked out the host.
How can someone
So,
so nice be so evil?
um, you know, insert political rant here.
Ooh.
You know, pick your poison if the shoe fits.
You have to, yeah, yeah. We get a
Oh,
bsocks
and
that's
you know,
like,
and just oh, go ahead.
yeah, we got a bsocks that's like little Yugi, and then he turns into Yami Yugi, and he switches on these decks like Burn, you know, brings out the
He
dark
turns into
side.
A socks.
Oh,
I was gonna say, and you know, a little quick thing about Treasure, you know, quick little historical look back is that from the Yu-Gi-Oh! From Zero tournaments, Treasure was actually the first ever whole tournament we did.
it was. It was way back.
The Royal, the Royal We. I wasn't there yet. That was March 2023. I joined around December, I think.
Right. I think you joined around Chaos format, yeah. I. It was also before my time. I actually joined when bsocks ended his coverage on Imperial and was starting Android, so I also missed the first few tournaments that they did. But yeah, this was the very first YFZ event where bsocks won himself on the burn deck nonetheless.
Yeah, and you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you just think it's fun, then don't fix it. Like, I don't know if you follow the meta of any fighting games or not so popular fighting games, but I don't know if you how much you follow the melee meta.
I'm more or less aware of it. I do kind of follow the fact that there are like 4 to 7 predominant characters. There is a definitive like S tier, A tier, B tier, and then there's like C and D tier characters. Uh, I know you
Yeah,
have. I know like
but
Fox is like definitive like tier one stuff like that.
well, yeah, Fox and Sheik and Marth are basically considered the best. Like, and then what I was gonna say though, in regards to, you know, you think you know the meta, but then Yoshi has been a laughing stock the whole time. Like, Melee came out 2001, Yoshi spent 20 years a laughing stock. And then 3 years ago, somebody won the biggest major there is with Yoshi.
Oh shit, really?
And and so from that moment on, that same player went on and just kept like killing every event with Yoshi, and people were trying to study Yoshi now. But no, it was just him. Only him playing Yoshi was clearing events.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
So and it's like that's a character no one ever took seriously, and then 20 years later, someone just figured it out. You know, and I apply that to any format, any deck. As long as the deck isn't jank, if it's a rogue deck, then keep working at it. Keep trying to figure it out, keep grinding out, try to figure out what is the method here. What's the play, what is what's the combo. If it's jank, probably not. But if it's rogue does not mean it's jank.
yeah, and there have been in other formats. There's been surprises. There have been rogue decks that have surfaced and taken like top spots in events. And oh wow, and it looks like bsocks is gonna take this hand gmyfs's his first loss in this particular tournament. So it looks like they're gonna go into another match here. And going back to what you were saying, yeah, there are decks that come out of the blue and take a top spot, and they do surprise players. Alephia is very well known for this. He's come out with some crazy lists, and most of it's backed up by his own skill, like being the player that he is. But he's proven that there's not just an all-in-one solution for building a deck, even if it's a like tier one deck. There might be things like if was it goat format like Chaos Turbo is a definitive build and like Edison has a definitive Blackwing build, but for other lists like there's ways to push it further, and I do praise the players that continue to put that effort, even if those decks maybe the rogue decks are considered ultimately tier two no matter what. It's the players being just having fun exploring the game and all that.
Yeah, and then you do see things happen. Like, speaking of goat, like people would say for a while, it's just goat turbo and chaos turbo. That's all there is. Play goat turbo, play chaos turbo. Otherwise, you can't win in goat. And now warrior has been winning a lot of games in goat. Like, warrior's been winning majors left and right. Not every major, but it's been winning a lot of them, and it's been all over and topping. And you go back like 5 years ago, warrior, get that back in rogue where it belongs.
Warrior has emerged historically in GOAT as it was a sort of historically anti-meta warriors, but I think it still kind of is anti-meta in its own sense, considering the amount of trap cards you're running, and you're deliberately beating the Chaos Turbo deck. The warrior players have been adjusting their lists, and they've been like pushing that envelope further to adapt to Chaos Turbo success. And yeah, you're right. Warriors, they phase out and they come back, phase out and come back. And it's really cool to
And
see.
this year, I've been seeing a lot of comeback for warriors and a lot of wins.
Yeah, for sure. They've been doing things, whether it's like smoke screening, they're changing some of their card lineup. They may be incorporating things like Magician of Faith or their flip monsters. They've been inserting other spell and trap cards in. They may be like shifting over to jars. They might be running one less solemn. Yeah, there's ways to adjust going into future events for, and we're not just talking specifically about warriors. We're talking about like just decks in general approaching an event that may not seem like the one to top, but they surprise people.
And that's to say, Burn was looked at kind of as the alternative, and now Burn is back, and now Burn is in the finale.
Yeah, and bsocks being the bsocks. Not so I'm not saying like that only like experienced players can win at burns. Just bsocks does have the experience on the burn deck, so like it just shows the deck has legs, and I think he's the player to bsocks will be the player to watch if people want to take burn and pilot it in treasure. Just going based on this tournament as a prime example. So yeah, if we can get some more, yeah, getting more decks like shake up things up, so it's out of the tomato streamline that makes it more dynamic. It shows that you don't have to run like 3 Mechanical Chaser, 3 Mystic Tomato, 2 Sangan, 2 Witch, and then all the power lineup. There's ways to adjust. Even GBO last event with the rats and the Robin Goblins, showing there's ways to shift things around and push the envelope.
Now, history of YGO 1 says that retro Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't necessarily the same anywhere, and I can see where you'd be getting at that because, some countries do seem to take it more serious than others. Like there is the joke of you run into Italian on Dueling Book, just pass and go to G2, or like Europe has their own championship, whereas it's only Europe and World Championship are like the two biggest events. There's no like US Championship.
I think they're much more dedicated to their competitive scene, and I think the environment is just much different than NA, with them being more streamlined into meta, I'd say. And it could be a matter of a cultural thing. It could just be a matter of those players in the Europe scene having more events and amping it up a bit more as opposed to NA. But NA does still have quite a big scene with like JDZ hosting the goats online goat events and all, and as well as a lot of locals that spawn, whether you're in NYC or Seattle. I'm not 100% sure because I'm from Canada. I just try and keep up with as much info as I can.
Man, they got Yu-Gi-Oh in Canada?
It's honestly mostly, where I am at least, it's mostly Pokemon and MTG. There isn't a whole lot of a IRL, well, at least not for like retro. There are committed players, but it's mostly advanced format, which is really hard, as you know, is really hard to get into.
Yeah,
keep up with.
I'm in LA, so I got, there's a lot more people, but
Right.
even so, where I live, LA is a big place, so that doesn't really specify too much on purpose.
No.
But yeah, well,
Because you got like a
I'm
triangle
in
of
LA,
cities, right? Like.
yeah, that's more of like in New York, but LA has just a bunch of it's a whole county. Like
Yeah.
there's LA the city and LA the county.
Right.
But where I'm at in LA the county, it's like, yeah, growing up I could always find locals for Magic, and I could always find locals for Pokemon. But locals for Yu-Gi-Oh, not so much. If I could, I would have probably never stopped playing it.
No. Just a quick thing I'm gonna let chat know is that I can't really see the comments right now. Something's weird going on with my OBS, so I apologize if I'm missing chat messages. The stream was set up very last minute, and I know I know a couple people have been commenting, and I apologize if I can't see what you're reading. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just it's just the last minute setup.
It's a good thing that I'm just, on my phone so I can read the chat. Like I read out History of Yu-Gi-Oh! Made the joke, or not the joke, he made the remark.
Yeah.
He made the remark that, it's not the same anywhere. And Houdini mentioned, I got beat by an Italian guy at 5 in the morning. He was playing Shadow Ghoul Chaos Necromancer.
That is spicy. That is the spice cabinet coming out at 5 a.m.
Yep. And then he will, let's see. Oh, yeah. And then the joke of, oh, no, he's Canadian, but they censored out the A as if it's a bad word.
That's actually pretty funny.
It's crazy that gmyfs won a game, but, hey, double elimination.
Yeah, no, so it's really coming. Now it's really the finals. bsocks being able to get a 2-0 right in that first match. Because I've streamed several events before, and they've one of the Imperial before was complete like shutout with a 2-0 for the winner. And then when I streamed the Chaos Return finals, bsocks pulled uh, sh- an SJC 06 finals where he just styned the opponent twice. So uh, it gets pretty intense when it comes down to the actual final match, especially for double elimination, because you never know whether the player in the lower bracket is able to push through, or this like the player that or the person from winner side just again shuts out and pretty much nopes out any chance of the success.
Yeah, always hard to be able to predict, you know. You can never get comfortable and you can never get confident because um in a you know 50 life points is not 0 life points.
Yeah, as long as you have one life point, you're still in the game more or less, and unless your opponent has a bunch of has like something like a solemn for your next card, or I mean there are situations
Yeah.
where it's like okay, well you're definitely not going to pass go and collect $200, but yeah, like you're right in that. The logic is that as long as you have one life point, you still have a chance. That's the strong mentality going in, the main character mentality.
Yeah, never get the main character mentality of okay, well, I can just I can finish this next turn. No, you can't.
Looks like bsocks not taking that. Sorry, bsocks not taking that last game loss too lightly. He's pushing back with this life point and card advantage. We got a stare down between the OCG tomato and the TCG tomato. I gotta ask, do you have a what do you prefer, the OCG artwork for tomato or the TCG artwork?
Man, you came prepared with all the hard hitters and all the controversial questions for this interview.
The fans must know.
Um, Remind me which one is which. Like which one's the TCG and which okay, which one's the friendly one and which one's the thick
Okay, the
one?
OCG one looks like a pumpkin. It's got like the cutout eyes, and the gmyfs has the OCG one. bsocks has the TCG one with kind of the goofy face of the tongue out.
The TCG one is the one that looks like 90s sick.
Yeah, looks like a 90s tattoo. Um,
I like that one because it's a tomato and it's got like a goofy angry look to it. I like the angry looking tomato because I don't know, just something about like you're giving a tomato a face and a tongue, and I don't know how to explain the aesthetic reasons. It's just
I mean, sometimes it's like I get this a lot too, being a creative type myself. Sometimes you can just like something without any real particular reason, and there may not be like a in depth. There may not be like a complex or in depth reason behind it. You might just like something because it's cool, or it's like like Mystic Tomato here has tongue ticking has that razor sharp teeth and
yeah, and that's
funny.
it. That is exactly it. Is because it's like just it's the reasoning of look at that freaking thing.
Look at that face. You just want to throw a
Yeah,
tomato at
it's
it.
yeah, no, it's like it's like that vibe with any kind of character or like when the cat is just staring at you from across the room with really big eyes and you're like, "Hey," and it's just staring at you and you're like, "Oh, look at you."
Yeah, you got the oh yeah the cat. Yeah, I grew up with cats and I totally understand. Actually, it's around their dinner time. They get the most this insatiable look of bloodlust on their face, and they just want to devour the first thing. We're actually getting close here to a we're getting in a very low resource situation. bsocks kind of in danger in terms of card counts. With him recurring the cyber jar, but it looks like he's kind of desperate for resources because he can't afford to take take this next loss lest you let gmyfs win. He wants to push as much as he can to the game 3. But gmyfs has a wow, a wall of 5 monsters. That is insane. I don't think I've seen in my time like doing online events like seeing Cyberjar do 5 monsters. Maybe 4, maybe 3, but 5 because usually like spells are gonna be popping up.
The biggest I've ever been was 4. Usually I average at 3.
Yeah, as a typical number considering how many spell cards and I guess trap cards each player is like running. Now for bsocks, this isn't so bad because it makes this is gonna make his just desserts real juicy. And I wonder, okay, here comes the chain energy. So there's no just desserts played by bsocks, so I'm wondering if he's just. Oh, sorry, I do this a lot. I lose track of information in my own games. He's got the just desserts down. So if he's more than one, then gmyfs is gonna be blown into oblivion.
If he has any other cards that burn next turn, that's it.
Yeah. So I think if he just plays one, if he has to pay what for one chain energy, I think he's done for us. But we'll see. So this is actually a situation where you part of the cards or you can win with 1 life point may not apply. And unfortunately, this is like just a result of the burn matchup as they push you into this point where you could just be so low on life points that their next card just nukes you because most decks are not equipped to naturally deal with the burn. And that's one thing that burn favorably has going for it. Is they're not naturally having cards that resuscitate life points. Or yeah. Especially if most of the time people are expecting the tomato mirror or just going to the recruiter or relinquish matchup, they're not just gonna main deck cards that aren't gonna do anything against those common matchups. And yeah, that's I think gmyfs is gonna be blown away. Yeah, that's gonna be bsock. Now we're oh my god, it's gonna be pushed to a final. This is the absolute final game.
We'd love to see it.
Ugh. I'm gonna do a poll. Who's gonna win? I forgot you can do this.
The winner is you, the viewer.
The winner is the friends we made along the way.
The winner is the tomatoes we swapped for the rats we swapped for the witches we swapped along the way.
Yeah. All right, I did a poll. Let's see what people think. Is gmyfs gonna take it home with the tomato package, or is bsocks gonna break through with the burn? As bsocks says in the game, this one's for all the marbles. Just don't lose your marbles.
This one's for all the star chips or locator cards.
Or their grandparents' souls.
Yeah, honestly, instead of doing all that, fighting for his grandpa's soul back, he should have just taken Pegasus's grandpa's soul and been like, yeah, how do you like that?
That would be like season 0 Yugi, I think.
Oh god, yeah, Dark Yugi.
Or yeah, pretty much.
I like to distinguish their names because
That's fair.
the translations, like, because when I read the manga as a kid, which those are 2 things you should not be doing, is reading the Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 manga as a kid.
Oops.
That's why I'm wacky. No, but when I was reading it, it was translated in season 0 manga. They translated his name to Dark Yugi, but then
Okay.
in the duelist section of the story, they kept his name Yama Yugi, like it is in the cartoon I'm watching. Huh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fair because they would translate the Japanese words like Yami into dark. So I understand for the sake of the manga or the comic, and then as well, I think they probably realized when the time Four Kids was coming around and like English dubs or whatever, if you're well, we don't want our main character to be called like Dark Yugi or like Evil Yugi. We want it to Yami sounds a little more ambiguous.
Yeah. And then uh like, whoa, there's a card called Yami? Like Yami Yugi?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Right. All right, so now so looks like gmyfs is staring down yet another line of back rows. The chain energy is live, so now gmyfs will have to start losing life points as soon as he plays from the hand. He's got the bug though; it's gonna get rid of the Mamungas. At least the one Mamunga. There's still two more kicking around. I don't think he pays life
Among
points
Us.
for. I don't think he pays life points for this particular action, unless he's playing the MST from hand. He's not hitting chain energy. He's gonna hit. Oh, he's hitting the measure. Oh, okay. Very, very smart by GMFS to look for. Oh my god, that was very smart of him to look for the magic jammer via MST. But it looks like bsocks had two of them primed. Uh, he does tribute summon Maneater. Tribute the Maneater bug for the Thunder Dragon. So while GMFS did lose Heavy Storm, bsocks is a little bit on the back foot. Um, Given that, oh, I see the change of heart. Because now GMFS has the resource advantage, and this is kind of what he wants is to get in, punch bsocks early, so that
Yeah.
he's gonna force him on this back foot here. Now, like the big life point disadvantage means that bsocks has got to pull into something crazy, otherwise it's lights out.
Yeah, and like I said, um, you know, it's not always the best move to try and get the big push against Burn unless you can do it early. If you can do it early, you got it.
Yeah, and it looks like we got that from gmyfs, and he's very much asserting control, even willing to just take one of
You can win it.
bsocks' set cards in favor of two of his own. Very big, because even though gmyfs is taking like negs in terms of like card advantage, he's accomplishing his goal of getting bsocks down early before he can get himself in trouble. So
Come on, Gumo.
what
Come
happens now is
on, big
bsocks can't
fighter.
actually play any cards because he's below the chain energy threshold. So um, this thing is the end of the game, and I think
Ooh.
gmyfs yeah takes it home, and we have our next. You have your next champion, my friend. Vern got so close, but got so close, but didn't quite make it. Uh, GMFS pushed through, secured his win, and congrats to both players for getting the distance that they did. And what is the prize for our first place winner?
$25. Hit me up.
Woo! GMYFS, if you're watching the stream, you've just won yourself some prize money. And he's proven himself to be a force of reckon in these DMGX formats. So we'll have to keep an eye
He
out for what
really is.
his list is and see how he's adapted. We saw some interesting tech from him. Very interesting share of the pain. I wonder if that's for the burn. Things like the Thunder Dragons to thin out the deck and have
I
things
definitely
contribute.
want to see.
Saying Witch. Sorry, you were saying? I was kind of rambling.
Oh, I was gonna say I really want to see bsocks keep on keeping on and keep playing that burn, and I want to see him, just keep it going. He is the guy.
Yeah,
He is that guy with the burn deck and treasure.
yeah, and considering he pushed his way through the lower bracket, he's not going to quit anytime soon. The deck has legs, and the deck the deck can reach the finals. It got a little bit. It did come up short, but granted their position was swapped, and B's if their positions were swapped on the bracket, then yeah, bsocks would have definitely taken it home, especially after winning that 2-0 match right off the bat. But gmyfs had that spare life. He held his ground and he won it over. All right, guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up here because I have a super early morning tomorrow. I just want to. bsocks asked me to stream this last minute, so I did, and I thought it'd be fun. And thank you, Hylian, for joining me on the call. And
I'm glad I was able to do the whole thing.
yeah,
And
right on, right on.
congratulations again to both of us. And
Yeah.
I don't want to bog you guys down, and you don't want to talk shop, but I keep on putting the money up and up every time. I keep on upping the prize money. I'm not gonna talk shop, but next time I'll just say it will be more than $25 next time.
Ooh, it's getting spicy. The treasure pool is building up.
Well, they go into the trove, and every time they go into the trove, there is more and more treasure to be found. So good luck and good hunting.
Oh, that's a very good saying. I'll have to quote you on that. Who better to support this format than you, my friend?
Yeah, and you know what? If anyone else wants to host their own tournament and their own, niche format they find, do it. Go for it.
That's to all you viewers. We'll catch you around on the Discord and possibly the next stream. I will be around to maybe stream some other finals in the future. Pay attention to the Discord on FL and YGO from Zero because there are a lot of DMAR events happening coming to this next month in September. So keep your eyes peeled. Get yourselves involved, and we'll see you out there. Anyway, this is PJ signing out, and I'll see you guys next time.